All right. All right. Welcome back to another rendition of Cardinal Craze. I'm your host, John. Today on the show, we got Coleman, Bryson. Coleman, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How's the weather down there in Georgia?
It's pretty good. It's always kind of drowsy this time of year, a little bit cold, some snow, some rain, but it's all right. I'm making it through.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're making it through. How are you dealing with COVID? I know we're kind of a year into COVID, but is everyone in your family staying safe? Are you staying safe?
Good the whole time?
Yeah, I'm in
and
a.
would these be your pizza box and Chick-fil-A bag out here?
I'm in an interview with a school company. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. That's perfectly fine. That's understandable. Was that your father?
No, I'm in the dorm right now, so it was the dude that's over the dorm.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of RA.
I dorm here at Raven Gap, so yeah, that's the RA.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. It's the first I've ever heard of a school having their own dormitory. I'll tell you.
Yeah. But back to the COVID question.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit different. It's been different for everybody as far as not being able to go to camps and and meet in person with these colleges and having them coaches not coming to the school and talking to us and seeing us in the weight room and seeing us on the field. So that's been different. As far as training wise, I mean, we're kind of here isolated at Raven Gap. They've done a really good job at. We come in, we test, we quarantine for a week, and then we're kind of here dormant until the next major break. And so that kind of allows practice and lift and do all that stuff kind of COVID free almost. So that's good.
Okay, so overall, they've been keeping you safe. They've been doing a good job about isolating everyone and especially separating out your training regimen so that way you're not in contact with a whole lot of people. Yeah. All right, well, that's good to hear. Now, I did kind of want to talk about your recruitment and your relationship with some of the Louisville staff. But before we get into that, we want to know a little bit about you, Coleman, some of your likes, your hobbies, your interests. Now, you're originally from Raven Gap, Georgia, right?
Yeah, well, I'm from Waynesville, North Carolina, but
North Carolina.
But I'm in Raven Gap right now, which is kind of all the same area. It's Western North Carolina or North Georgia, but it's all North Georgia, Western North Carolina mountains.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Now, I did kind of want to ask, has it been difficult trying to promote yourself since the coaches can't come out, they can't see you at practice, they can't see you at games, they got to review your film?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit. I'm not really. I'm kind of focused on being, my coach preaches this all the time is just be the best high school player you can be, and focus it all on that. And the coaches are going to find you. The coaches are going to find the good players is always what he says, and kind of the cream always rises to the top. I mean, and my coach did a really good job of vouching for me and sending my film to a bunch of coaches. So I don't think that it's really hurt me that much. I really haven't been recruited in the non-COVID age, so I mean it's just kind of. But no, it's been good. It hasn't been too difficult, I don't think.
Okay, well that's good to hear. And I saw you actually got a couple offers just the other day. Now I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of talk about your relationship with Court Dennison, the person who's been recruiting you, as well as Pete Nachta. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. So tell us a little about your relationship with Court. What do you guys usually talk about, and how do you feel overall about that relationship?
I feel great about the relationship. I mean, he's a super cool guy. I think we connect really well. He's a kind of fun, energetic kind of guy and I've talked to him on multiple occasions. We talk about like that we're going to play one-on-one basketball or playing Madden or playing 2K, just some kind of just guy stuff, just kind of just shooting stuff, just talking. I mean, he's let me know that he wants to coach me definitely, and he wants to coach a player like me that's smart and plays hard. So he's let me know that definitely that I'm a player that he wants on the program. But as far as the relationship, I think it's going great. I mean, like I said, just kind of building that comfortableness with him to be somebody that not only just like a coach, but like a friend I can talk to. And I think that's going really well.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Now, do you have the same type of relationship with Pete?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Pete kind of as much as I've just because he's kind of been more kind of in the driver's seat with the recruitment of me necessarily.
Yeah, of course.
Good relationship with Pete. I mean, we've talked, and he's talked with my mother a lot, my father, and kind of let them know how the process is going. And as far as like questions, any questions they've had, he's kind of been able to answer those. So that's good.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. Now, what are some of your goals for this year? Now, you'll obviously be able to play some football to some level down there in Georgia, but what is your goal? Do you want to have so many sacks, do you want to have so many catches and touchdowns? Because you also play free safety and you also play wide receiver, so it's kind of that dual threat that you got going on.
Yeah. Again, I don't think I really necessarily have any goal individually per se. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
good, and I want to have those interceptions and tackles. I think the main thing is probably trying to win a state championship for the team. I mean, like I said before, just focusing on being a good high school player, playing hard, letting your kind of effort talk for itself. And then once you do that, I mean, like I said, it speaks for itself, and the college coaches just see that. So I don't think that there's any necessarily personal goals for me, but more of like a team mindset.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. So, do you have any interests outside of sports? Is there anything that you might be very talented in? Are you a great knitter? Do you play the trumpet? Are you great at poker? Like, is there any other type of interest outside of sports that you have?
I'm a big kind of outdoors guy. I like to fish and hunt and go out, hike, do all that kind of stuff. I mean, here in the Western North Carolina mountains is about the best area you can do any of that stuff. So I'm a big hunter and fisher and hiker, and I just love being outdoors.
Well, that's good to hear. And if you definitely do come to Kentucky, and Kentucky is a great place to go. There's tons of hunting spots, and even going outside of Louisville just for a couple miles, you probably find some good spots. All right. So, what is your favorite NFL team? Do you have one? Are you like a big Packers fan, Ravens?
I don't really have a favorite NFL team. I like players. I like some certain players, but not really favorite NFL team.
Okay, well that's understandable. Now, do you have a favorite college team so far?
No, I don't. My mom is she went to Georgia, so sometimes I'm a Georgia fan, but I don't really have one. Once you have kind of in the age of you have a lot of places changing, like players come in and leave and go to the league, and in both basketball and football, and so I don't really have necessarily a favorite team or a favorite place. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's perfectly fine, and understandable. Your mom went to Georgia, so obviously, being a Bulldogs fan is very important to her.
Right.
And obviously, if you got that Georgia offer, I'm sure she would be all over you going to Georgia. I'm sure. But for the most part, you have several key offers. You just got offered to Appalachian State. Let's see, you got offered a Duke offer just the other day as well. You have the Louisville offer, and I believe a Wake Forest offer.
Right. Yeah, I have like you said, Louisville. I have Kansas State. I have South Florida. And then I have the Wake, the Duke, the App. Yeah.
All right. Now, seeing as how that's kind of your current offer list, is there any team on there that's necessarily kind of solidified a lead per se?
I don't think necessarily that any's above the other. I'm grateful for all of them for believing in me and offer to me for playing football. I mean, it's a really big thing and something I've dreamed about my whole life. But I don't think that one's above the other. I think maybe I'll be able to tell that when I start taking visits and kind of get to have that in-person contact in the campus. But as far as anything else, I don't think that there's a front runner or anything.
Oh, okay, well that's understandable. It's still pretty early in your recruitment so far. So, who's to say who will take the lead? I'm sure at some point you'll drop a top list of what schools you're
Yeah.
very interested in and have kind of solidified a lead. But outside of that, are you planning to take any visits anytime soon? Are you planning to come up to Louisville, just check out the campus, see what the city's like, get a feel for that, and just kind of go to other universities to kind of see and compare? Is there any plans in the work?
Yeah. As soon as the dead period, I believe the dead period's April 15th for right
Mhm.
now. Till athletes can come visit. Just, but as soon as that's up, I'm gonna try to take as many visits as I can to the places that have offered me. Just kind of like you said, to get a feel of the school and the town around.
Yeah, of course. Now, just if that dead period does not end and they extend it through June or July, or worst case they push it all the way to August again until they can reevaluate the situation, you do have plans to go and take a little road trip and just check out some places if possible, right? Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I think if that were to happen, then I would just go probably with my family and go look at these places and look at the towns and look at the schools.
Okay, well that's good to know, and I'm glad to hear that you have a plan and you have a backup plan as well. All right, so who is your biggest motivator and well also your biggest supporter? Yep. Coleman, you there? Hey, can you hear me? Hey, Coleman, can you hear me?
I think you broke up there for a second.
Oh, there we go. Okay, you're back. All right. Lost you for a minute. Okay. So my question really was just more of a case of who's your biggest supporter and motivator as well. Is it anyone in your family, maybe a friend, maybe one of your coaches?
I think it's probably my head coach. He kind of helps me with the recruiting process and kind of let me know um, how to take it. And he was a big recruit coming out of high school at Parkland High School down in Georgia as well. So he kind of knows the ins and outs of it, and has kind of guided me and my other teammates that have been getting offers, just how to navigate everything and how to take in everything and process it. You know, but
All right. So let me ask you, do you have any friends or maybe some distant family that are attending Louisville right now or who have actually attended Louisville?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have anybody that I know or that has. I've known about the school and kind of who they were, but I haven't had anybody that's attended.
Okay, well that's perfectly fine. They recruit all over the place. I mean, it's a big country, so a lot of people go different schools in different cities. But for the most part, do you have anyone on your team who has Louisville offers as well?
I believe my teammate Marlon Klein does for tight end. I think he does. He has a bunch of them, so I think he has around 20 or so. He's committed to or verbally committed to Michigan, so I think
Oh, okay.
he has one, but I don't think anybody else on the team does.
All right. Well, that is very interesting to hear. All right. Well, last thing we're going to ask is, for the most part, what do you want to go after when you get to college? Is there any specific degree you want to go after? Is there any, or are you just kind of leaving that open and going to determine that at a later time?
I think I want to go into the medical field as far as pharmacy and pre med. Kind of focusing on pharmacy. My mother's a pharmacist.
Okay.
So I've been around kind of what she does at work, and um, so I kind of like that avenue. I'm gonna ride football out as long as I can go because I love the sport and I love competing. But I think it would kind of be be unprepared to go in there to go into college without an idea of kind of what you want to do if sports doesn't work out. So I think that's what I would want to do if football wouldn't work out.
All right. Well, that's good to hear that you have a degree you want to go after, and that's good that you do have a backup plan if you aren't able to make it to the pros.
Right.
All right. Well, Coleman, I'm going to wrap this up here, and we'll be able to talk afterwards. But for the most part, this has been another edition of Cardinal Craze. I appreciate you guys for coming out, checking out, and listening to Coleman, finding out a little bit about him. Hopefully, Coleman will have you back out on the show at a later date to see how your relationship has grown with the Louisville staff, with Court Dennison. And for the most part, go Cards.